Okay, this is the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Honestly, I'd say this is the best phone under 20,000 rupees or $300. But it has a lot of drawbacks. Okay, what's up guys, I'm Santosh and let's dive into the review. Before starting the video, I'd like to say that I'm splitting the video into three different parts. First things first, what I love about the phone. Second thing is what is okayish or decent about the phone. And third thing is what I absolutely hate about this phone. Okay, you guessed it, it's the design and the multimedia experience. Now the phone comes with a very flawless design. It's a plastic back covered with Gorilla Glass 5. I have no issues with the design of the phone, it's very good, but the only thing that makes me want to throw the phone is its camera bump. Now obviously camera bumps are common in 2022, but the phone wobbles a lot. I mean a lot. Now to prevent this, Xiaomi did provide a transparent case at the back which turned yellow in no time. Highlight of this phone is its display. Now this is a 6.67-inch OLED display coupled with 120Hz. The display is fantastic and I'd say this is the best display under this price range. The blacks are very deep and the colors are very accurate as well. It does come with HDR10 Plus support and wideband L1 out of box, so you can stream stuff at high quality. With over 1200 nits, I'd say this is a pretty bright display for this price range. And there's 120Hz as well, which is kind of a downside. I'll come to that later. Now 120Hz definitely sounds smooth, but not on the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Here's why. Now I really think that the MIUI optimization on this phone is pretty bad, because as a guy who switched from his M21, the Samsung Galaxy M21, to Redmi Note 10 Pro, both of these have an Super AMOLED panel in case you don't know, but the M21 has a 60Hz display, but while switching I really didn't notice that much of a difference. Now yes, coming from a 60Hz to 120Hz display, I do see some sort of difference, but I cannot feel it, but I cannot feel the smoothness in the phone. It still looks like the same 60Hz panel I used in the past. Now one thing I noticed is few apps on this phone doesn't run 120Hz all the time. I mean apps like YouTube and camera, whenever you open them, the display switches back to 60Hz instead of 120Hz. Now yeah, this is kind of disappointing. I guess you have several ways to solve it, but sound is definitely a big thumbs up on this phone. It comes with Dolby Atmos support and high-res audio. There's a stereo speaker in the phone. I mean on multimedia, this is a very good device. I'd honestly rate it 9 out of 10 for the whole multimedia experience. Nowadays, getting headphone jack is like investing at Bitcoin. Okay, so that's why this video is sponsored by absolutely no one. So anyways, if that was unclear, the phone does come with an headphone jack and an IR blaster. Okay, here's the okayish stuff about this phone, and it should definitely be the cameras. It's not a great camera or not a really bad setup. Okay, first of all, the rear camera performs good. The photos are sometimes good, sometimes bad, but sometimes the photos captured by this phone are really over sharpened. As you can see, this image was shot on a normal lighting. It's not very harsh lighting. The photos are really over sharpened. But on the ultra wide, the case is completely opposite. There's no details in the image. It's probably because of the small megapixel amount, but as you can see, the ultra wide is not the best one out there. The rear camera photos are really oversaturated sometimes, and the photos look average. It isn't the best or not very bad. Now there's something called Pro Color mode in this device. This just boosts the color by just doing some sort of magical thing. If you're someone who's capturing a really good landscape and you want to showcase different colors, definitely check out the Pro Color mode. It works pretty good. Photos are often saturated and vibrant. Overall, I'd say this the phone captures really oversaturated, decently oversaturated rear camera photos. Now there's also HDR in this phone. Sometimes the highlights are really blown out, but HDR works pretty good. It's not the best one out there, definitely not the best one, but it works fine. And sometimes the HDR doesn't work at all. As you can see, the image captured is basically the same image, even with the HDR turned on. Now what I don't like about this phone is the night mode. The photos are below average. I'd say this is a really confusing camera setup. Sometimes the photos are really good and sometimes it just messes up everything. Now while switching between ultra wide and the wide angle, there's definitely a lot of color shift, as you can see. Now what I hate about this phone is the amount of time it takes to process the image. Talking about selfie or the front camera, the photos turn out good, but there's a lot of beauty optimization on this phone. I mean, even with the beauty optimization turned off, I can definitely see a lot of smoothening of the skin. But talking about the skin tone, it definitely produces a very natural skin tone. The phone can also go up to 4K 30 FPS on the rear camera, 1080 60 FPS on the rear camera as well. In the front, it can just go up to 1080p 30 FPS, which is kind of sad, but yeah, okay. Here's a video example. Okay, here's a video of the Redmi Note 10 Pro shot with 1080 30 FPS. You guys be the judge, let me know how it is. And now I'll switch to the front camera. The front can go all the way up to 4K 30 FPS. I wish they did provide like a 4K 60 FPS or something, but yeah, it's okay. The Redmi Note 11 Pro doesn't have 4K 60 as well. Anyways, let me know how the noise cancellation is and how it works. Okay. So you guys be the judge. Let me know how you think the phone performs in the camera segment. Overall, I'd say this is a 6 out of 10 camera setup. Okay, here's what I absolutely hate about this phone. First things first should be the Snapdragon 732G, which the Redmi Note 10 Pro runs on. Now this is a fairly decent chipset compared to the Helio G95, but I did play COD for the first time in maximum settings and I noticed a lot of jitters and lags, so I couldn't really handle the game at the maximum settings. One more thing is, when I played, I noticed the phone to warm up a lot. Now when I mean warm up, I mean heating up, not just like a bit of warm up here, but heating up. Fingerprint scanner on this phone is not really fast. It's fairly decent. I mean, yeah, it's not really fast, it's okay. I scroll through Google or YouTube a lot while I'm free, while I'm jobless, and I noticed the phone to lag or jitter from some frame lags here and there, which is quite common in a lot of MIUI phones. A lot of bugs in MIUI. For example, this one bug is where I tap twice to turn on the flashlight. Well, the problem here is I did disable this thing in the settings, but even after disabling it, it still works. It's annoying for me, to be honest. Also, I heard about the new December patch update which came out on this phone, and it had a lot of bugs as well. So MIUI optimization is definitely bad. MIUI is consumers' darkest enemy on Xiaomi phones. One thing is, if Xiaomi definitely had a better software like the MIUI 13 on all phones, no bugs or whatsoever. If MIUI gets the hype like One UI does, I'd say Xiaomi would right now be the first brand worldwide. Okay guys, a lot of people have been asking me if the proximity sensor on this phone has been fixed, and yes, it has been. Right now I'm not facing anything with the proximity sensor. If it happens further, I'll let you all know on Twitter or Instagram, which, by the way, if you guys are not following, go follow. A 5000 mAh battery on a 190 gram phone is pretty impressive. It comes with 33 watt fast charging. Now, I'd say the specifications or on paper stuff doesn't decide how really the phone is or how good the phone is. 5000 mAh sounds like huge, or like it looks like the best thing out there, but I'd say the phone is a pretty average battery holder. I normally get around 8 hours or 10 hours of screen on time with 120Hz and always on display turned on. Because of that, there might be fluctuations in the battery. 33 watt on the other hand is good. It can charge in like 1 hour 30 minutes, which is. Now, one last thing about Xiaomi phones is how Xiaomi just hikes up the price of the phone. The phone was actually priced at $1699 if I'm not wrong. They went and took it up all the way to 20,000. Now, should you buy this phone? Definitely yes. This phone is completely worth it. With offers and stuff, you can go up to 17,999 or 16,999, which is good. And there's a lot of competition as well. This Realme 8 or this G71 or H20 Fusion, which definitely comes with an AMOLED display, but I'd say this one beats them all because there's HDR10 Plus support, or there's 120Hz, which I don't think they provide. Redmi 11 series, the 11 Pro, which comes with Helio G96. Now I don't think that's a great improvement. I mean, yeah, it's a good improvement, but again the phone loses the telemacro sensor. On that one it just gets a macro sensor, which is a huge downgrade. I'm missing the OG telemacro on the 11 Pro. So basically, yeah, the 10 Pro is definitely worth than the 11 Pro itself. Anyways, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. You're impossible to describe if you subscribe. Now if you unsubscribe, you're not my type. Even if that was lame, I don't care. Please make sure to subscribe. That's an indirect way of saying so. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. I'll see you in my next one. Until that, my name is Santosh and I'm signing up from the channel.